plans, so we're just going to go down, grab some breakfast at the local beach cafe. But just while I'm on my way, it's about 10 minutes away, so I just thought I'd talk to you a little bit about increasing profits, basically. So, I mean, you know, the easiest way of increasing profit is not to make more money. I know it sounds totally ridiculous, but it's absolutely true. So let's say, for example, once we go over speed bumps, let's say that you're making £100,000 a year in revenue and you're making £15,000, let's just say £10,000, I can do the maths easier, on profit. Okay, so that's cool, you're making 10%, that's fine. But, you know, what's going to be the easiest way to increase your profits to £20,000? Well, you've got one choice, which is to increase the revenue that you're doing. And if you increase the revenue that you're doing, you're going to have to do £200,000. How easy do you think it is to do £200,000? Not that easy, is it, really? So, you know, I mean, we were very fortunate in my old business. We actually doubled our revenues every year for 4 years straight, which is really cool. But that's very unusual for that to happen. So the easiest way of actually doubling your profits is not by doubling revenues, but it's by cutting your costs by £10,000. And so, you know, when we talk about financial freedom, we just did a podcast about this today, about passive income. And, you know, the easiest way to get to passive income was pay down your credit cards, because for £200 a month you're spending on your credit cards, that money should be going in your pocket. That's the equivalent of £200 in passive income, isn't it? Once you've got your credit cards paid off. Most people don't get that, which is crazy. But, you know, when we talk about your personal finances as well, the easiest way to start saving is to cut your costs. And people go, well, I shouldn't have to cut my costs, you know. And I get about context, you know, the problem isn't, for example, that your bills are £2,000. The problem is that you're only making £1,500. And actually, if you just doubled that and made £3,000, then life would be a bit easier. And I totally agree with that. But until you get to that point, actually the easiest way of surviving is to cut your costs down from £2,000 to £1,500. And if you're not doing that, you're not continually looking at your costs. I say this to people, and it just goes in one ear and it goes out the other, and then I see them again 5 years later, and my financial position just hasn't changed at all. You've got to cut your costs. It's not like, let me even rephrase that, actually, because it's not just about cutting your costs, it's about controlling how much money you spend each month. And people are like, yeah, but, you know, I want a Ferrari and I can't have a Ferrari if I have to control my costs. That's exactly how you get the bloody Ferrari, by controlling your costs. You know, I used to pick my friends up, we'd go to basketball in my Porsche 911, beautiful car, spent 42.5 grand on it, beautiful car. And they were like, they were complaining about me being so tight. You're always tight, you're always tight. Picking them up in a 42.5 grand Porsche 911, this was 15 years ago, so 42.5 grand was worth even more back then. And I'm like, guys, the reason why I'm tight, I can pick you up in this car, is because I'm tight. Give me 10 quid for petrol, thanks very much. And they're like, oh, you don't need 10 quid for petrol, you know you appreciate it. Yeah, you can show me your appreciation by paying the 10 bloody quid for petrol, or 5 quid, or whatever it happened to be. It's to really wind me up. You know, to go to basketball, which is 20 miles away, you know, that would cost me like 16 quid in petrol, oil, depreciation, tyres. And they just didn't get that. But then that's okay. That's why they are where they are now, and why I'm not. It's because take care of costs. You've got to cover your costs. And the easiest way of increasing your profit is by cutting back on your costs. And it's just something that you've got to start doing, like now. Get your spreadsheet, get a list of all your costs, both personal and for your business. And I've got 2 spreadsheets, you know, I've got 3. I got one for property, I got one for personal, and I got one for my business. So I'm doing it, and honestly, since I've started doing that in the last 5 to 8 years, like seriously properly doing it, so I can account for every single penny. I know where it all goes, and I've got cash flow forecasts. I mean, we're booking holidays now for 18 months in advance. And the reason we can do that is because we know our cash flow forecast is likely to be. Not what it's definitely going to be, because no one can forecast that. Interest rates might quadruple, tenants' rents might drop, or they might increase. Like, nobody really knows what that's going to be. But it allows me some kind of forecasting. It gives me some kind of goals. So we've got a tenant moving out, and I'm like, you know, it's a little room, 325. I'm like, can we get that up to 375? An extra 50 quid doesn't sound like a lot, but it's an extra £600. That over 18 months is 900 quid. That's a holiday right there. And so we can start asking ourselves better questions because we've got the spreadsheet down. And if you've not got the spreadsheet, you can't ask yourself any questions because you don't know the questions to ask in the first place. You can see me getting frustrated with it because it's so obvious. Do it! It's so obvious to me. Having gone through this and come out through the other side, and people are like, oh, no, I don't need to do that. It's all right for you, Dan. You go ahead and do that. But no. I don't need to do that. I'm finding my Audi TT earning 50 grand a year at my job, 70 grand, 100 grand. It doesn't even matter what those numbers are because they're irrelevant. You're earning that today, but like, what are you going to do? You're going to keep earning that for the next 10 years? Maybe. That means you've got to have a job for the next 10 years. Not what I wanted. If you want financial freedom, which is what I'm guessing you want, because that's why you're watching me and listening to me, that's not the plan for you, is it? God damn it. Cut your costs. Move the money over to passive investments, into income generating assets such as property. You can't do that if you don't have a handle on your finances, if you don't know how much money's going out, if you can't cash flow forecast. If you can get yourself to a stage where you can save £2,000 a month, right? Every 12 months, that's a brand new house that you can buy. Not a brand new, but a new house for you. It's a brand new asset for you that you can have. £2,000 a month. So then the question becomes, how do you earn £2,000 a month? Well, I don't know. It depends what you're doing. I mean, I went from 15 grand to £100,000 in 4 years flat. So that's how I did it. And I used that money to start investing in property. And obviously, I was 29 at the time and single and spending it on all sorts of stupid stuff. Expensive nights out, fancy cars. I mean, I totally regret those now. Fun at the time, but now I'm 46. I'm like, actually, I could have bought an extra couple of houses. But that's how it works. But it starts by saving £1, or it even starts by saving a penny, and then saving 2 pennies, and then saving 4 pennies, and then £1. And then £10, and then £50 a month. And £50 a month, like I say, doesn't sound like a lot, but in 18 months you got 900 quid. Maybe that's enough money for a training course that will help you earn an extra £200-300 a month. And £300 a month times 12 months is £3,600. Now you're starting to get somewhere, but it all starts from knowing what your costs are. So look, I hope that's useful for you. Forgive me for the rant. Sometimes it's needed. And we'll speak to you on the next video. My name's Dan Latto. Take care.